What is going on, party people in the house? It is Friday. It's a Longhorn Friday for us. Yes, I did get caught in that drop-off line, but I'm here. Happy Friday to everybody here. Feliz Viernes por mi Latinos, hermanos, and hermanas. It is time for us to talk about the Texas Longhorn. It's time for some get back, obviously. It's time for them to get some bounce back. And no better opponent to take out all your frustrations on than San Jose State on Saturday. 11 o'clock game, by the way. And so, in any case, what we're going to do today, we're going to go ahead and break it down. I'll go ahead and I'll give you some keys to victory ish. Come on. I mean, help me out, right? But I'll give y'all a couple little keys to the victory, some things I'm looking at, more some things that I'm looking at heading into this upcoming weekend. We'll talk about some of the other games that are on the schedule as well. Steve Sarkisian addressed the media yesterday, if you didn't get a chance to see that. So I'll give you a little bit of some Sark stuff from yesterday. And maybe if I still have some chance, Austin Gooseby is on his official visit with the University of Texas, and we might be able to talk about that or talk about getting Gooseby. So I got a jam-packed day. And thank you, Jefferson. I ain't looking like The Rock, more like Chris Rock. But in any case, hit the like button. More like Nino Brown, really. It's more like a Nino Brown kind of look, right? Am I my brother's keeper? Anyway, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. 100% appreciate over 100,000. And let's go ahead and get into it. All right. Let's start the whole show today, y'all, with some games that are going on throughout this upcoming weekend. All right. Where the hell? Here we go. My man put it together. All right. So obviously we know Texas playing San Jose State. And we'll get into that in a second, right? But more, let's start. And I know Rodolfo's going to say he's going to be in the house this upcoming weekend, because I think Rodolfo is going to the Young Boy concert on Saturday night at Moody, and I think that's the main reason that brought him in here. Rodolfo, we'll talk about that. We'll give you young folks your chance. Uncle is all down with it. Let's talk about the games this upcoming weekend that's going on throughout the SEC. Obviously, San Jose versus Texas. So for those who are trying to figure out how the hell you're going to watch the game, obviously you can go down to TCH Social and watch it. But if not, you can. Here you go. This is how you watch it at home. Then let's just go through the list of the rest of the remaining games. So let me just retweet this real quick on our Fun Friday, our Fiesta Friday. We're really having a good time today. I'm in a great mood, man. I'm in a great mood. It's one of these Fridays that I got all my work done. So all I got to do is this show, and then I'm bouncing. All right. Utah State at Texas A&M is happening. Kansas at Missouri. Could be a competitive game. That one there on ESPN2, but that has a chance to be a competitive game. There's some history between both of these teams, and so maybe that ends up being something that's worth watching once you get done. RIP to Austin P when they go against Georgia this weekend. Ole Miss at Kentucky. Interesting game because get back. I mean, Ole Miss, that's one of their losses from last year, and that ended up being the thing that hurt them. Probably, it really hurt their playoff thing last year. So, which was still kind of a weird thing. Kentucky was that game 20-17 last year. So, yes, Ole Miss looking for revenge versus Kentucky. The rare we got to get Kentucky in football game. ETSU versus Tennessee. USF at Florida. My USF Bulls, are playing at Florida. Obviously that's an expected win for Florida. But USF actually played good in the season opener. So who knows? Maybe they can make that one a little bit more competitive than it probably would be on paper. Probably something worth for us watching. I think, when we start thinking about the next month, for me, I'll get into it in a second, but it's really about getting prepared for Florida. So I'm definitely going to have my eyes on the Gators this weekend. Got Arkansas State at Arkansas. A lot of these people collecting checks. Like this is for the most of this conference, this is a collected check kind of week. By the way, it is the first of the month, y'all. It's the first of the month. How many people got paid today? How many people got paid today and they are in a good mood? Or did you get paid today and you got to pay everybody else, and so you're kind of in a bad mood? South Carolina State at South Carolina. Now, this one actually ends up being, I think, one of the best game in the conference. So by far, Michigan at Oklahoma on Saturday night. That in itself, that'll be for us really the true test of where Oklahoma is. For all the things that Oklahoma has said about their growth throughout the offseason, the happiness of where they are, like that to me is the true barometer. Can you go and beat Michigan, a quality Michigan team? I'm not saying they're an excellent Michigan team. I'm just saying they're a quality Michigan team. So that's the one we got to have our eyes on Saturday night. So make sure you guys are ready for that one, except for Rodolfo, because he'll be at the Young Boy concert. So he probably won't be keeping up with that. Then we finishing out Arizona State at Mississippi State. That's actually low key a competitive game. Like low key, that's a competitive game. Like that one's going to be interesting to watch. Again, Mississippi State has a win in week 1. Arizona State, we know what we saw them last year. Low key, that's actually a really interesting game. I don't know what to make of that one. Anyway, I'm going to keep, that'll be another one I'll keep on my side view though. Michigan at Oklahoma is going to be the main one I'm checking out. Then you got La Tech at LSU. It is what it is. Vanderbilt at Virginia Tech. I mean, again, I don't know what to make out of Vanderbilt. So there is that one. And then ULM at Alabama. I think Alabama's going to win. No, I'm just joking. They should win. It won't be impressive, but they should end up winning that game. So that's kind of your slate of games for this upcoming weekend. It's kind of what it looks like for all of us there. And then who's the Suge Knight and OB? I came in too late for all those things, so I kind of ended up missing it. All right, so that's the slate of games as we start to kind of shift our focus. And by the way, if by the way you're thinking of, hey, what am I going to do? By the way, we do have the Lowy Law Firm post game show. 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Hopefully, we have a lot of fun things to discuss. Shout out to anybody who knows who this San Jose State quarterback is. By the way, shout out to anybody who has this down. Like, oh snap, that's such and such. Okay. Anyway, make sure you check out that post game show as well, because that'll be fun for us as well. All right. So yesterday, Sark talked to the media, and of course it was via Zoom, and which is good, by the way, because then we don't have to actually go down to UT, so you can just kind of do it from home. So Sark addressed the media, and I thought there was a couple of things that I wanted to kind of share with you guys from yesterday. So let me go ahead and find this. My producer does a fantastic job, Tyler, of putting these things in here. So let me go ahead and put this in here. It's only about 4.5 minutes or so.
Steve, I know you talk all the time about ignoring the outside noise, but I wonder how much you worry about the outside noise, talking about, well, you got 3 easy non-conference games before SEC play, and do you worry about that overconfidence seeping into your team, but any at all?
I don't worry about it because of the outside noise.
By the way, that was your best friend Kirk Bowles with that question. Actually, wasn't a bad question, by the way.
I worry about it because I think that's human nature, right? And so as a coach, how do you combat that? What do we do Monday morning to get ourselves prepared for a ball game? What do we do to try to minimize players looking too far down the road and focus on the task at hand of what's right in front of them? And so it's not so much about what anybody outside the building thinks or doesn't think. It's truly what I believe. And I've been doing this long enough to know that human nature is human nature, and we can get caught in that trap. And so sometimes you coach them harder. Sometimes you point out the slightest of details that could be off to make sure that the screws are tightened up really tight and that we're ready to play.
Chip, go ahead.
Oh, back to back for those in the comments. You get to Kirk, to Chip, and then myself. Like, y'all can rank them.
What did you think of the perimeter blocking in the Ohio State game? And after, looking at the film, what stood out about Grayson Littleton's performance?
Yeah.
By the way, I wanted to ask about Grayson Littleton because, as y'all know, I've been on the show. Money B could attest to this as well. Chris Bannon, Rodolfo, a lot of people check it out. And morning to you, Stephanie. I've been high on Grayson Littleton, and obviously there's been a lot of things that we talked about as relates to him. So I wanted to ask about Grayson Littleton playing against Ohio State. So Chip got my question, which was a good one. Actually, overall, I actually thought it was a really good question. I think Sark gives a good answer. I'll shut up and let you listen.
I thought our perimeter blocking was good, and it was really good at times, but I thought for my liking it was probably too inconsistent. And we have players on the perimeter that are very good perimeter blockers, that I think we expect a high level of blocking on the perimeter. When I think perimeter blocking in my mind, I think run game first, right? And the run game to me takes all 11. It's everybody doing their job, and a lot of that for a receiver is blocking safeties, blocking corners, things of that nature. But also think of a lot of the perimeter plays, the ball on the edge, bubble screens, so on and so forth, advantage throws, where we didn't have a ton of those obviously in the first game, but we know was a part of our offense. And so that aspect of it is playing to our standard, playing to our capability, and I think we're more than capable of doing that. Grayson, I think to everybody else, this was a surprise, but I don't know how many more times I could have come on a press conference with you guys and referenced Grayson Littleton throughout spring ball, throughout training camp, of a guy who'd been performing at a really high level for us. You kept wanting to ask me about other people, and I kept bringing up Grayson Littleton. And so it was great to see that he actually got a chance to go out there and show what he was capable of. And there's definitely room for improvement for him, but boy, for that guy in that environment in his first game to play the amount of snaps he played at critical moments, some critical third down plays, third down stops, tackles. Very impressed by him, and he's got work to do, but definitely the future's bright.
Anwar, you're up.
Hey, Coach, kind of staying in.
First of all, my car just got to finish the rest of it before I make change. Go. So you got to finish that one. All I need is the Kango hat, right? That's all I need, the Kango hat, and I'll be good to go. And yeah, Grayson Littleton as a freshman from Florida. Again, we've talked about. I've had Jason explain a little bit too, like as a guy who's come in and he was highly recruited when it was all said and done. But, there's so many 5-stars in this class that, it kind of gets lost a little bit in the shuffle, but he gets to play a lot versus Ohio State, a part of a unit that really did a great job of shutting down the passing game. You can complain about one play here or there, but overall, he played well and looks well. And it's done fantastic.
Hey, Coach, kind of staying in that theme of freshmen, kind of curious about some other guys like Dalen McCutcheon, who got some playing time. You said you're going quarterback by committee, backup quarterback by committee. I'm assuming KJ Lacey may be in that piece there. So can you just tell me about some of the other freshmen who might be chomping at the bit, and anything you might give me just housekeeping on Wardell Mack and his status for this weekend?
Yeah.
So I had to ask the Wardell Mack question, right? So it was one of these questions. Sometimes it happens, right? I'm later in the press conference, and I'm always like, okay, somebody going to ask the news question, like the question that you might get a no comment or get shut down for or something like that, right? So, sometimes it's like double touch. I'm like, am I going to jump in this thing? And I'm like, oh, man, ain't nobody going to ask this question. Damn, I got to be the one to ask this. I was like, damn it. All right, well, I guess I got to ask about Wardell. It's either Wardell Mack or Red Zone, right? I had to choose. So I went with Wardell Mack, and Sark was actually really cool about the whole thing.
Yeah, I'll start with Wardell, then I'll jump to the other stuff. Wardell, obviously we're aware of the situation that occurred. We're obviously monitoring the authorities and where they stand on it, and then anything that happens beyond that we'll handle internally. So that's that. As far as other guys that I think are ready to kind of step into a fold, I love where Dalen McCutcheon is at. I'm excited about him. I'm excited about Nick Townsend and Amari Winston, a couple other true freshmen that I think have made great strides for us. Lance Jackson is a guy who stepped in and got some opportunities last game. Looking forward to seeing him more with some of the opportunities that he gets. And then some other names that maybe aren't true freshmen, but guys that I'm looking forward to playing. I'm looking forward to seeing more of Xavier Filsaime. I'm looking forward to seeing more of Christian Clark and Jarrett Gibson. I'm looking forward to seeing more of Kobe Black. He had some ops, but seeing more of him. So we got plenty of guys that we're looking forward to, and I think the weather's gonna dictate to us that we're gonna have to play more of these guys on Saturday, as warm as it can get. Obviously with the 11 a.m. kick at DKR.
Yeah, I did have to jump on the grenade. I had no choice for that one. I was like, damn it, y'all. All right. I ain't gonna ask. So anyway, what was cool about that is that, and we're gonna get into when I start breaking down like my 5 things. I put that in air quotes for real. It's 5 things. 5 keys to victory. I think the cool part for is that Sark is talking about he's going to try to play a lot of guys, and he gave you a list of guys that was in there. He didn't really get into my KJ Lacey portion of it. Here's why. On Wednesday, Sark was on the SEC media call, a conference call. They do like a conference call with all the SEC media on Wednesdays. It's like a 10-minute window. Every coach does it, but Sark was asked about like, well, who would be your backup? Who's your backup quarterback who's going to be going forward? And he said it was Matthew Colbert for the Ohio State game, but he said going forward is going to be by committee. It's not necessarily going to, it's going to almost be like a week-to-week thing. And I'm like, well, hell, week to week. KJ Lacey's in that mix. Sark ain't revealing the depth chart. He's not giving us the depth chart. I don't know if we're going to get one on Saturday, but we don't have one right now. So I'm interested to see where KJ Lacey / Trey Owens is, because I want to monitor that, because that becomes like transfer portal watch. Trey Owens is like the 4th string guy, right? So it kind of is what it is. So keeping my eye on that. And it was also interesting to see who else is going to be in the mix for some playing time this upcoming weekend, because that's kind of what it all ends up being. How many people are y'all? How many of y'all are going to the game outside of Rodolfo? I'm just kind of curious. I know Rodolfo said he's going. Anybody else is going? Stephanie, are you going? Money B, are you going? Paul, all of y'all, are y'all going to this game or not? All right, let's get into the matchups. I put this in air quotes. All right, let's get into the matchups. I'm gonna give San Jose State their credit. All right, a little bit. All right. So anyway, Sark talked about they're a passing team. Okay. So if you just look where they are in the nation, they're going to throw the ball a lot. So, should be an opportunity to create some turnovers. Okay. This is after week 1. So nobody trip over this and see where the rankings was. I got to go back. I'll be honest with you. I had not paid a whole lot of attention into like San Jose State. So let me see the hell they beat in week 1. First of all, they 0-1. So they lost to Central Michigan 16-14 in week 1. Because I was like, why is their number so high? Anyway, okay. Don't buy much into this. I'm just putting these stats up because guess what? I'm just going to do this every single week. And so you guys could see where they rank. I think the big thing for Texas, tied for 20th as far as total defense. I know we should expect that number to increase throughout the season. Rushing defense as well, passing yards allowed. Really, really good start as far as that is concerned. And I think, again, these are all week 1 kind of things. So again, I wouldn't trip on any of this, but I wanted to at least put it on the screen so you had a chance to at least see it. Again, I'm going to do it every single week when Texas has a game. So for the next 3 Fridays, including this one, just humor me on this one, right? Just humor me on it, all right? So anyway, there's your Texas versus San Jose State breakdown for those who are really wanting to know that. All right, so then how to get to that? Let us get to. I have it listed as my keys to victory. It's really not keys. All right. It's really not keys. It's more about things I'm interested in. And I could have changed the title. But as y'all know, I got a son in middle school and I had to get him to school. So I didn't really have time to get it all done. So let me just tell you, even though it's going to say my keys to victory, in this regard, just think of it as things I'm interested in. All right. The first thing is get Arch going early. Okay. Sark has talked a little bit about the need to have Arch run and how that would maybe help him get more involved in the game. And so he's talked about, hey, he's got to be, and it's interesting because it's like Sark doesn't want a dual threat quarterback, but there is also a thought process that, well, at the end of the day, if that's Arch's strength, you should kind of lean into it and just let him do what he does. Somebody gave me this analogy of and I don't say analogy, gave me this example of what happened with Vince and Chance Mock several years ago, which was maybe Chance Mock's the guy that could complete a higher percentage of passes, but Vince just could do things that you could be unscripted. And a lot of coaches, they want their guys to do exactly what the play call is. But Matt Brown and Greg Davis, they had to figure out, like, okay, you know what? At the end of the day, he just does what he does, and we just got to let him do what he do. And so I know there's someone's going to be like, Jamie Foxx reference. So, but you got to let Arch do what it do, baby. And so because of that, I think this is a game where Sarkis maybe takes a little bit of the reins off and say, hey, man, like, if you got it, go ahead and run. Go do you. Get into the flow of the game. And I think if you get Arch going early, I think the main thing for him is just got to build up his confidence and I think this whole month is building up his confidence, building up his reps, getting into a flow with these receivers. And if he can do all that, again, yeah, it's an exhibition game, but based off of what we saw on Saturday, Arch needs reps. Just kind of is what it is. He needs reps. And the more reps he can get, the better. So if it means that he's got 5 touchdowns by halftime, so be it. Like, let him get 5 by halftime. But nonetheless, get him going early because you're going to need that guy going forward. Number 2 for me is get Ryan Wingo involved. It's interesting because I've seen this week people talking about Parker, and I think somebody wrote a story about Parker Livingstone being Arch's go-to receiver. And I was like, is there anybody who can really put their name and claim that they are Arch's go-to receiver based off of what we saw in week 1? Like that, I don't know about that. I don't know about that portion of it. Ryan Wingo is supposed to be the star of this team. He's supposed to be the number 1 receiver. And I don't mean like number 1 by starting. I mean, he's supposed to be that dude. He's supposed to be your Jeremiah Smith. Not the Jeremiah Smith that plays against Texas, but the guy Jeremiah Smith that plays against every other program, okay? That's what Ryan Wingo is supposed to be. And that's what everybody expects for him to be. And so nothing wrong with Parker. There's no disrespect to Parker, nothing to that effect. But I'm just saying from a singular conversation, Ryan Wingo is supposed to be that dude. So because of that, you got to get him involved. You've got to find ways that Ryan Wingo has to go off. It's got to be a big game for Wingo. Like, this has got to be, I want 80 to 100 receiving yards for that guy. I want a touchdown, but I need to see Ryan Wingo involved because if this offense is going to do anything once they get to SEC play, they're going to need him. Like, it just is what it is. And if you don't have him, and if he's not operating at a high level, it's going to be real tough sledding, right? So get Ryan Wingo involved. And again, if you get Arch going, Ryan Wingo's going, there'll be a trickle-down effect, right? But I need a Wingo game. Like, I need this to be a whatever kind of game. So again, for the next 3 games before the bye and then Florida, you've got these guys humming on offense. I think that to me is a key on that side of the ball. You know, I'm not worried about Jack Endries and you know, it looks like the running game is coming around, which is obviously that's a positive for Texas. And then we expect that they should be able to run the ball pretty successfully versus a San Jose State. But get Ryan Wingo involved. That to me is number 2. Number 3 is create turnovers. Like, look, they're going to throw the ball. That's what you know about San Jose State. They're going to throw the ball. They're going to sling that rock. And you got to create some turnovers. Listen, I'm cool with this defense. Like, it's hard for me to say anything negative. It's hard for me to have a critique of this defense, especially after what we saw in week 1. Y'all good with me. So everybody know, because I always got, you know, parents watch the show, and, you know, parents roll up on me. Never know who's who. I never know who's going to say what. So I want to know all the defensive parents, because, you know, defensive parents are crazy, man. Defensive parents, they work out a lot. they work out a lot. You ever see parents of defensive players? They work out. But it's the, you know, the offensive player, I mean, not so much. So anyway, create some turnovers. I just want all the defensive parents to let y'all know I'm cool with y'all. Create some turnovers, though. You got to get back to getting the interceptions. You got to get back to, you know, y'all took that touchdown sword, that interception sword, turnover sword. There you go. Y'all took that turnover sword to Columbus, and nobody cracked it out one time. No balls to kill. So this got to be the week where that turnover sword comes back out. Did y'all like the sword, by the way, in my thumbnail? I went upstairs and I remember I was like, oh, I got a sword. My kid has like a Minecraft sword. It's like a few years old. I was like, that's gonna be my sword. Anyway, I'm in a good mood. It's a Friday. I'm in a great mood today, man. So, you know, it beats the alternative. So anyway, create some turnovers. That's going to be kind of one of the things I want to see. And again, these aren't necessarily keys to victory. These are just things I want to see. Number 4, I kind of simplified it. I couldn't figure out how I wanted to word it. Number 4 was easy for me. Play everybody in a uniform. I mean, everybody in uniform. I mean, everybody in a uniform. Listen, Salvenzo Queen says she's in section 37C. Put her in the game. Rodolfo in the game. Everybody needs to get into the game. If you're in the uniform, get into the game. Why? Because it's going to pay dividends down the road. You never know when injuries are going to occur. And the more playing time these guys get in September, the more it's going to help them when the injuries eventually occur throughout the season, because injuries are going to occur. That just is what it is. It's the nature of football. Not trying to speak any kind of negativity in this world, but we just know what's going to happen. So these guys need to get some playing time. Hopefully 3rd, 4th quarter. There's a lot of guys who are on the team that were optimistic that they would have had an opportunity to play in the last game. They did not, but now they're going to have an opportunity to play. Mama going to be in the stands. Everybody flew in. Ken Folk done flew in. And so you need to, everybody wants to make sure they get some burn. So you got to play everybody in uniform if possible. Like, obviously, it's going to be hard to play everybody, but definitely the more reps that these guys can get. Again, Trevor Gooseby is a great example of this. We've used this example before, but he's a guy that plays early, and then when the injuries happen late, because he's had those reps, he was able to go and step in and do a fantastic job. So play everybody in uniform is that. I'll get to my number 5 in a second, because I've seen 2 super chats come in. I don't want to, y'all got paid today. I don't want to take your money. I let everybody else. I let the mortgage company, your rent, and the credit card people take your money, but I won't steal from you. All right. Bars 10 says, "Hey, thanks for the shows this week. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. UT by 50. Thanks, Barbs. I appreciate that. My final score prediction is 51-3. So you and I actually aren't too far off, and I appreciate you watching as always, Barbs. I appreciate you supporting the show like you always do, and I hope everyone does enjoy the weekend. You know, we'll be done early today. Hopefully, all of y'all are done early, and you will get a chance to enjoy your weekend. And Barbs, make sure you enjoy yours. And just another fragrance review. And my man Court says, "Put me in the game. Happy Friday." LFG with that hook'em. That's what's up. That's what's up. I appreciate it. And Barb says, up with the Jodeci drip. I don't want to do it, you know. I can't, but I got it. But yeah. Anyway, can we get back to this one? Jodeci's that was a baby making music back in the day. Do they even make music like that? Rodolfo don't even know. Rodolfo's one of my young bucks, right? Rodolfo don't know what it's like to have like that. The Boys to Men. I'm talking about romantic songs. I'm talking about. I know now it's starting to sound old, right? I'm talking about that romantic, baby face kind of songs. I mean, just speaking about love and everything. Y'all could go back to Al Green and Love and Happiness. But I don't. Do they even make love songs anymore? Is The Weeknd the closest that y'all got to that? Like, I'm just anyway. Number 5 for me. I'm just saying, this is a different era. I mean, we had the slow jams. Did you ever have a place where you had to listen to the slow jams? And if you did. This is real quick. We almost at the end of the show. So Spirit, if you have your cassette recorder and then you try to record it off the radio, whether the slow jams or anything else, right? That's how you had to get your music, right? So you had to get on there and wait for the radio, hope like the DJ wasn't talking, and then you go hit record, and then you try to get that record, and try to be just right, and then flip it over, and then you have it just right, and then you would have your jams, right? So you probably have like the Christy jams, right? The Tex Blonde mix, right? All those kind of things. The Court, whatever. Green Lantern. I know you probably did that as well. Anyway, I don't know if they make love songs anymore. Number 5. I realize this will never happen. I realize this will never happen. I know who this coach is. And I know who I'm talking to. But nonetheless, once again, take the points. Especially in the red zone. I know it ain't gonna happen. I know you're gonna get down to the 4th and 2 or 4th and 1 on the goal line. And I know the kicker's gonna sit there. Kicker just like, I guess I'll just wait till next time. But I would love to see it happen. I'm just going to keep putting it up here every single week. Maybe it will. More than likely it won't. Sorry. Take the points. And by the way, when you talk about don't let the tape get tangled up. Y'all remember when you had to get your like little pencil and undo it? Just get the little pencil in there, like, oh man. And then you try to get it and work it, man. It was like it was needlework, boy. But we sure made that thing happen. And then life changed when you could get the cassette that flipped automatically. What? That flipped to the other side. Anyway. That was that. It taking down memory lane, man. Take y'all down memory lane. And then the other thing too, I said this yesterday. I close out the show with this. Again, this is a fun Friday. It's Fiesta Friday. Feliz Viernes for everybody. Life's too short not to smile and enjoy yourself. Austin Gooseby is in Austin this weekend for his official visit at UT. He's a 5-star out of Melissa, Texas. He is Trevor Gooseby's younger brother. He is all that in a bag of chips. Feel free to just do your Google search on him. But big test for Coach Miller. Big test for Coach Miller and this staff. Got to bring him home. You got to make sure that that kid don't leave. He was just at Duke. He was at Miami previously. Took a visit to SMU. Got some others coming. You got to beat Duke. Oh, Shy. The very first time that I saw your brown eyes. Okay. Anyway, you got to make sure you get that Austin Gooseby is a guy that you get. You can't necessarily go all just because your brother plays here or anything like that. Like, you got to treat him like he's just an all-star recruit, 5-star recruit that you're trying to win over. And so Austin Gooseby is in town. We'll probably see him at the game. He'll probably be on the sideline, something like that. Coach Miller, bring it home. Keep this kid here. Bring the Gooseby, continue the Gooseby legacy at Texas. Make it happen. You're on the clock. All right, y'all. That's it. Y'all go ahead. Go old school. Now everybody going to go and think of some old school mixes. Some old school stuff, some Gerald Levert, some LSG. Y'all go ahead and get all your old school stuff this weekend. Enjoy it. Have a fantastic weekend. Have a fantastic Friday. I'll take my old lady out tonight. We're going to do a little date night. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be there at the game tomorrow morning. I'll be here for the post-game show tomorrow as well. I think Catch might even be doing a show on Sunday. So we got everything going for you on this channel. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel just so you can get the notifications when these shows get started. Man, I'm done. It's time for me to go to the barbershop, get edged up. So, I'm looking right for tonight. All right, y'all. Have a fantastic day. Remember what I always say, live each day like it was your last, because one day it will be. So go out, do something nice for yourself, do something special for yourself. Don't wait for nobody to celebrate you. Shoot, if it's your birthday, nobody called you, go ahead, put a candle on the cake, blow it out, make a wish, and enjoy and sit there and enjoy yourself, because you absolutely 100% deserve it. Y'all take care. Make sure you also call somebody you haven't talked to in a long time to check up on them, make sure they're doing it. Make sure you ask them about their health. We don't ask people enough about their health, right? That's it. Go out, have a fantastic weekend. Y'all take care. I'll see you on Friday. And Rodolfo, stay out of trouble at that Young Boy concert. I don't need you to do anything crazy that's going to go viral. Rodolfo, we got our eyes on you, and I ain't going down to try to